baby Walter kicked his ass. Welcome to another week. As you can tell, my voice is still wonky because your girl's still been very sick. This whole week was a little bit, is that a little better? A little bit. This whole week has been a wash because your girl was starting to get a little better because she was feeling a little sniffly last week, and then she thought she was starting to get a little better, and then Friday hit, and she felt worse than she has felt in a very long time. I have had the worst cold. Like, usually when I get a cold, it's like a day, maybe two, and then I'm good. But no, it's Thursday, and I'm still, like, I'm considerably better, but I'm really drained. And I did, like, the COVID test and everything, and it said it was negative, but with these new strains and everything, they say that, like, in the news and stuff, that the tests might not be, like, 100% accurate in determining sort of, like, the new strains and stuff, so I don't know if that's what I had/have, because like, congestion-wise and all that, I'm not too bad now, but I'm really drained, and I'm starting to slowly get my energy back, but from, like, last Friday straight through till today, and today's Thursday, I'm not 100% yet. But hopefully I will be okay for work on Saturday, because that whole work week I missed. I was just felt terrible. But yeah, I've been doing not a lot of reading because I haven't had sort of the energy and, like, the health, I guess, to read, and but I've started to do, like, a little bit again. And at my workbook, Shayna, like, I haven't really read anything from that in, like, the last week or so, so I don't really have an update for that. For Rainbow Valley, I do, and it's last update, Walter had was gonna fight this boy Dan, and he was, like, all nervous about it, but my boy beat his ass. And it was such a great scene. I'm so happy for my boy. And he got him to take back all the horrible crap that he said. So that was really, really sweet. And I like that it's sort of more, like, since I updated, and I was mentioning that I wish that it was more focused on Anne and Gilbert's children. It has been doing that, but it's still also focused on Meredith's children, which Faith, John Meredith's little girl, has struck up a rapport with Rosemary West, who it sort of looks like her and John might actually get together, which I'm hoping for. And John has decided that, that he wants to marry her. However, Rosemary is going to have to refuse him because of a stupid promise that she made to her sister Ellen when their mother died, like, 5 years ago. And Ellen was afraid that she was going to be, left alone when Rosemary someday went off and like got married, and Rosemary at the time was grieving her sort of first love and didn't imagine that she would ever get married again, so it was sort of an easy promise for her to make, that she promised on their mother, on the Bible, that she would never get married and leave Ellen. And I'm very annoyed at Ellen that she's making her stick to that promise. Like, she's not worried about any relationship that could develop between Rosemary and John Meredith, because Rosemary made a promise, and I know that she's not going to break that promise to me. I'm like, you're a grown-ass woman. This was like 5 years ago. Are you seriously going to uphold this promise that should never have been made? So, hating Ellen a bit, and looking forward to Rosemary and John actually getting together. And there was this whole the reason that Faith and Rosemary actually got together, I guess, like in the scene, was that poor Faith, they killed her pet rooster. They killed her pet rooster, Adam, and she was heartbroken, and everybody else thought it was funny, so she had nobody to sort of talk to about it, and share her grief, but Rosemary was, like, very kind to her, and understanding, and didn't laugh at her, and so that's how, like, Faith began to sort of really care about Rosemary. And so John was like talking to his daughter and realized like how much Faith had taken to Rosemary, and that sort of helped him come to the decision that he was going to ask Rosemary to marry him. So he goes to Rosemary and he proposes, and she can't bring herself to refuse him because she wants to marry him. So she asks him to give her some time before she can answer. So that's sort of where we are, and it's not a no, but it's only not a no because she didn't have the courage to tell him no, because she doesn't want to tell him no, because she does want to marry him. So hopefully in this time, Ellen will get her head out of her ass and let her sister be happy. So that's sort of where we are with Rainbow Valley by Lucy Maud Montgomery. I am almost finished. Almost. So I've been slowly, kind of, like very slowly, kind of going out and getting some air and doing my walks, because I am kind of hoping to sort of get my strength back. So yesterday I went out and it was very slow going. It was very slow going. But I wanted to go to the book exchange because sadly it is closing. I'm so sad about that. It's closing at the end of June. So I'm actually hoping to get in one more visit before it closes. And I wanted to go because everything is 50% off. So I did some damage. More than my resolution is supposed to be, but it was 50% off, and so it was grief buying because the book exchange is closing, and I'm very sad about that. So I'm going to show you sort of what I got, and just, yeah, it was very slow going because my body just feels very, very tired. Yeah, so let's sort of show off what I got. So I got another Catherine Cookson, Colorblind. Another Harold Robbins, Never Leave Me. Another anthology of Alice Munro's short stories, Friend of My Youth. It's just such a pretty cover. My classic that I got, well, technically I got two classics, I'd say. One was Melmoth the Wanderer by Charles Robert Maturin. It's a Penguin classic of the ones that I love. Very creepy cover. And the other classic that I got, well, no, actually I got a couple. I got a couple on here. Is the Sigrid Undsted's Kristen Labrinstutter. And it's the first one that I have. I have another one of hers, and it's the Bridal Wreath. I think the Bridal Wreath? The Bridal Wreath, yes. And I have it sort of as a standalone. But this one has all three. So I was very excited to grab that. So the Bridal Wreath I might do a giveaway for. So keep on the lookout for that. I think I'm going to do a giveaway for that eventually because I have all three right here. Looking forward to that very, very much. Then another classic that I have is Evelyn Waugh's Brideshead Revisited, which I know that there's a mini-series of it with, I think it's Jeremy Irons. So, very much looking forward to that as well. And I found another collection, I believe. I don't have this one, I don't think. Is another collection of Lucy Maud Montgomery short stories called Along the Shore, Tales by the Sea. 16 previously unpublished stories. So look at how pretty. The glare there because of the jacket. Yeah, so very much looking forward to that because I love her writing, you know. And this one, Sally Bowman's The Sisters Mortland, New York Times bestselling author of Destiny. And we remember what happened with Destiny, don't we? If we don't remember, there is a standalone book review rant video that I did for that book here on my channel, if you want to check that out. We hated the second half of that book. We absolutely hated the second half of that book. But we thought we'd give her another try because the genre that she writes in, I love. You know, the women's fiction, secrets, family secrets, you know, glamour, glitz, that kind of stuff I absolutely adore. So we thought we'd give her another shot. So we'll see how this goes. Should be interesting. Hopefully, I'll like this better. And so that's what I got at the book exchange. And I got all those for 50% off. Then I went to the library, and let me show you what I got there. Dropped off some stuff and picked up A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood with Tom Hanks playing Mr. Rogers, which as soon, like I wanted to see it as soon as it came out, but I didn't get to. But as soon as everybody heard that Tom Hanks was playing Mr. Rogers, it was like, of course he is. Of course it's Tom Hanks. Because he is one of the most beloved actors of anything, of any time in the history of the world. There was this comedian that made this joke of that Tom Hanks has the most a-hole credits of any movie star ever, which means that if, like, Tom Hanks is so beloved that if tomorrow you heard that Tom Hanks punched a nun in the face, your first question would be, what did that nun do to make Tom Hanks punch her in the face? That's his sort of level of a-hole credits that he has. So that just sort of goes to show how beloved Tom Hanks is in the cinema universe. So I am very much looking forward to this. Then we have Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window with James Stewart and Grace Kelly. That's there, and just Grace Kelly is just so stupidly beautiful. I just cannot with her. So, looking forward to that. Then we have another classic movie, It Happens Tomorrow, with Dick Powell and Linda Darnell. And then we have a series of, I don't know if it's like the first season or if it's like if it's like a limited series, but it's called Broken, and in it, Sean Bean plays a priest. And so I was like, yes, please. I definitely want to check that out. And I'm assuming, because he plays a priest and it's a series centered around him, I'm assuming he doesn't die in this one. Because it is Sean Bean, but it's like not a movie or not a series with like a huge sort of cast with like different kind of stories. I don't think. I think it is genuinely like centered around him, so I'm going to assume that he doesn't die. We'll see about that. There's that, and I got The Pacific. Now, I have seen Band of Brothers, and I've adored Band of Brothers, which is why I can't do a reaction to Band of Brothers, because I've seen it already. Seen it, loved it, one of the best miniseries of all time. However, I keep hearing about The Pacific is that it's like a continuation, but not. Like, it's sort of like in the same sort of vein. And I know that like a lot of people have done reactions to the Pacific as well. So I have not seen it. I just know that it also, I think, and is also still like in the same sort of vein of like it's produced in the same way of like the same as Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg, and it was actually the three actors that actually made me want to check it out even more. The Pacific tracks the real-life journeys of three U.S. Marines, Robert Leckie, Eugene Sledge, and John Basilone. And Robert Leckie is played by James Badge Dale. Now, if you've watched 24 with Kiefer Sutherland, you know who James Badge Dale is. Chop chop. That's all I'm going to say about that, in case you haven't seen season 3, and I don't want to spoil it for you. But, yeah, James Badge Dale was in 24, season 3. Chop chop. So that definitely is somebody that I would want to watch again. Eugene Sledge is played by Joe Mazzello, who I am assuming, I could be wrong, but I am assuming, it's not showing any pictures, he is the same little boy in the movie The Cure. It was Joseph Mazzello and Brad Renfro, may he rest in peace, Brad Renfro, where Joseph Mazzello had played a little boy with AIDS. So I'm assuming it's that same actor, obviously grown up. And John Basilone is played by John Cena, who I have seen in many different things. He was in Primal Fear, and he was in Selena with Jennifer Lopez. He played Selena's husband, Chris. So, very interested in that cast. So we are, well, the miniseries follows these men and their fellow Marines from their first battle with the Japanese. So yeah, we're in Japan now. And I'm not sure if any of the original cast of Band of Brothers are in this, or if it's, I'm assuming it's a completely different take. Oh, and I'm not sure if all of it, but some of it is, oh wow. We have the directors, we have David Nutter, who did Supernatural and who did Game of Thrones. Jeremy Podeswa, who I believe also did Game of Thrones. Or he did, I know that name is familiar to me. But yeah, so very much looking forward to this. I will be reacting to this. So keep an eye out for that. And I'm not sure how many, 10 episodes. 10 episodes just like Band of Brothers. And I'm very interested to see sort of the how they're similar and how they're different, and very much looking forward to that. And the library had a little sale rack. I got 3 books there. I got The Favored Child by Philippa Gregory. Now, I don't, for the most part, like Philippa Gregory's like sort of newer, more recent stuff, because it seems, I find her very historically, she writes historical fiction, and I just find her voice sort of like very dry, but I'm thinking maybe, this looks like an earlier one, 1989, and it's The Favored Child by Philippa Gregory. And I just noticed that it's, I think, the second book in, like, the first book in this is Wideacre. So I think that I might have to read that first before I read this one. But I think, yeah, this might be, I might have to read Wideacre first. I'm not sure. So yeah, I got that from the sale rack. And I got Sarah Blake's The Guest Book from the sale rack. We're just gonna be like surrounded by books in this place. Nothing I can do about it. I have no shelf control. And Julia Kelly's The Last Dance of the Debutante. And that looks like a really very sort of historical, not necessarily historical romance, but like historical fiction. Very much looking forward to that. And so that's what I got sort of like at the library and stuff. But at the beginning of earlier this month, I had ordered a book from Indigo. I sort of like to do that, and kind of when every few weeks I like to get something from Indigo. And let me see if I can just, can I open you? Why is there not a earlier, easier way to do this? Okay. So I got Not Me by Michael Levine. And it is a sort of not like really like set in World War II, but Michael finds it's a novel, but the main character's name is Michael, like the author, and he finds his father is a Holocaust survivor, and Michael finds a bunch of his journals. So, very much looking forward to that. So that is what I got yesterday. So that is the damage that was done. So today I'm just gonna sort of do some editing today. I think I'm gonna edit my Son of the South reaction for YouTube. The Patreon version of that is up already, so you can go check that out on my Patreon. But I will do the, I think I'm going to edit the YouTube version for that today. Gonna get some lunch. I'm thinking maybe chicken wings and fries, and just gonna sort of take it easy for the rest of the day. Just because I'm like really, really drained, but I want to sort of go outside like just a little bit and just to sort of get my strength back, because I need to go back to work on Saturday because I can't miss any more work. Especially because like I am sort of feeling better. I'm just very weak, which I don't know, maybe it was just a cold, maybe it was more than that, and it just, my test tech came up negative because it was just like, with all the different strains out there now. Yeah. And, yesterday I watched, Hysteria with Hugh Dancy and Maggie Gyllenhaal. And this was such a fun movie. It was basically about the invention of the vibrator and how it stemmed from doctors trying to cure or treat women's hysteria, as it were, also known as women not being happy with their shitty lives and having their own thoughts and wanting to fight against those restrictions being imposed on them, and having them complain about it obviously meant that they were hysterical and had some kind of mental illness. So these doctors decided that a certain type of massage, you get my meaning, seemed to make the women feel better. And, yeah. So, this was a delightful movie. My one qualm about it was that I really loved the relationship between Hugh Dancy and Felicity Jones, who plays Maggie Gyllenhaal's sister. And I thought that they were just the sweetest. They had the most darling sort of chemistry. And Maggie Gyllenhaal was sort of like the wild sister who was obviously hysterical because she had these crazy ideas about helping the poor and, not wanting to just sit at home and live like this rich life. So she was a wild child. And I I saw it coming, but I was hoping that they wouldn't go that way, where Hugh Dancy eventually falls in love with Maggie Gyllenhaal. And I I wished that they had been able to do the things for each other and help each other, and all the things that happened still would have happened, but with them staying as friends. Because romantically, I didn't get that chemistry between them. I thought the chemistry was much stronger between Hugh Dancy and Felicity Jones. They were just freaking darling together. And the pushing him and Maggie Gyllenhaal together just felt forced. They had a nice sort of chemistry as friends. I didn't feel a romantic chemistry between them. So that's my one nitpick about it. Otherwise, absolutely loved this movie. It was just, it was so entertaining, and I would highly, highly recommend. Yeah, so that's what I watched. Uh, yeah, just gonna sort of do some video editing. I haven't really even edited Good Women for a while because I haven't had the energy. And just gonna do some video editing and have some lunch and just sort of take it easy for the rest of the day because I'm tired. I'm just tired. So hopefully I will be back with more energy soon. And yeah, I will talk to you guys next time.